And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. We're going to be breaking down the stories of the NFL, talking about those NBA games from last night, and man, oh man, how disappointing have those Bucks teams been. This Bucks team, geez, not even competitive. I mean, that's why we had to bet the Nets last night, thank goodness. Nets on the money line, it was a pick-em, folks. What the hell was that? Vegas absolutely disrespecting the Nets last night with that spread of a pick'em. We cashed in, and I want to say that the line ended up moving to Bucks -1 right before tip-off, which once again, just truly disrespectful there. We cannot buy this Bucks team, but we'll talk all about that when we get there. So, breaking down the games from last night, doing the stories of the day, and getting that moneymaker. We got Clippers Jazz game 1, so we'll break down that series as well and do the moneymaker for tonight's action. So, let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day, and the first one up, we all knew this was coming, folks. Aaron Rodgers is holding out. Womp womp. Officially a holdout. Aaron Rodgers skips Packers team meeting to open mandatory minicamp. This is what we thought would happen. We kind of talked about it yesterday on the show. He's upset with the Packers organization. We have to believe it's just he doesn't feel respected there for whatever reason. We never truly know. He never truly told anybody really what the real issue is. That's why everybody speculates, and that's the only conclusion. The only kind of, I think, the best conclusion is that he feels a little disrespected, which we kind of get a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a team game. This is not basketball, folks. One player, one person can't make that much of an impact. They can make an impact, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they make impacts, but it's not like a LeBron James, a Kevin Durant that can win the game by themselves. I mean, folks, we got offense and then an entire side of defense and the coaching staff. We got 53 players on this roster. We got 11 starters just on the offensive side of the ball, and then we have the 11 starters on the defensive side of the ball, and then we have 11 players on that special team. So Aaron Rodgers thinks it's all about him in Green Bay. It's not, unfortunately. Brett Favre kind of thought the same way. They threw him out once he was done. Aaron Rodgers kind of fell into that same trap of thinking for this Packers team, and now it seems like he's going to just kind of decide his own future. Hey, you're not going to throw me out. I'm going to leave. So, he's holding out. He didn't come today for the mandatory minicamps. He's not going to show up, folks. He's putting his foot down. We can I know we've got still 90-something days to the NFL season, but he is not going to be a Packer this year. He will not play for the Packers at all this season. He is done. He is truly moving on. We all needed to see day one. It's not like, all right, I'm holding out one day. I made my point. Are you going to change now? You better change now that I'm here. I made my point. Don't test me next year. Don't try me next year. I'll hold out for 2 days. No. He's not coming, folks. He's not going to play. He feels disrespected. You get back, you go to, back-to-back NFC championship games. It's like, what is the problem, Aaron? You're there. You're on the door. You're knocking on the door, Aaron. You can't get it done in the clutch. So you're putting that on the organization. You're putting that on the team because, like we said, he can never be the greatest of all time anymore. Losing head-to-head to Tom Brady, it's done. The conversation's over. I don't want to hear it. Tom Brady's out of his prime, folks. The man is at the end of his career. Aaron Rodgers may starting to exit his kind of prime a little bit. So just on that one game alone, he can never be the greatest of all time. He knows this, folks. He knows this. You don't think Aaron Rodgers is competing for greatest of all time? Come on. The man is super competitive. Come on. Don't say that, he doesn't worry about that accolade or anything like that. Of course he does, folks. He's a true competitor. You can hear it in all kind of the interviews. That's why, he wants the weapons to be more competitive, to win more games, to finally get back to that Super Bowl that has eluded him time again. So Aaron Rodgers not showing up to mandatory minicamps. No surprise here. He's putting his foot down. We'll see where he goes. I truly hope that the Packers don't let him out of his contract. You want to hold us hostage? Well, we're holding you hostage because we actually have the advantage here. I mean, unfortunately, we kind of own you. This is the business, and you signed a contract, and you are ours. You are kind of our property, and we're not letting you go. You want to play hardball with us? Well, Aaron, we can do the same thing. You can kick and scream and get your fan base all riled up like you do all the time. That's the only people that constantly defend Aaron Rodgers, his loyal fan base, and it's a loyal one, man. The athletes with like the most loyal fan bases are Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving. I mean, their fan bases are stubborn as stubborn can be, and they will not let the Packers kind of off the hook. They're going to attack the Packers, the organization, the team, the coaches, everything. But gosh, they will never hurt their golden goose in Aaron Rodgers. They will never disrespect him, and that's why everybody seems to love Aaron Rodgers, and that's why everybody in the media just kind of supports Aaron Rodgers so much, because they know the fans are out there supporting him till they die. They will support Aaron Rodgers till they die. They will kill themselves to support Aaron Rodgers if it makes him look better, folks. So Aaron Rodgers, man, holding out. I don't know. What does he want? What does he want? What do you want? Please just tell us. Because you didn't get a first-round weapon in last year's draft, you still made it to the NFC Championship game. So what's the problem? You're still going 13-3. You went 13-3 back-to-back years. What is the problem? What is the problem? Please tell us. Man, stop being in your shell, man. Tell us what the problem is. But if he tells us what the problem is, it makes him look bad. It makes him look like not the greatest quarterback of all time, which he will not do, because he still wants to kind of be held as the greatest quarterback of all time, and he's not going to kind of send any signals that kind of go against that narrative that he is not the greatest of all time, which he's not, but he thinks he is. His fans, oh my God, he's got the best arm. Nobody ever throws the football like Aaron Rodgers. Nobody can throw it like him. But he's only been to one Super Bowl and can't cash in on NFC Championship games. So please spare us. Spare me, folks. What are we doing with Aaron Rodgers, man? He's holding out for what? For what? 13-3, back-to-back NFC Championship games. You couldn't get it done in the red zone. You couldn't capitalize on 3 interceptions by Tom Brady. So what is the problem? Jeez. So over this man. Holding the Packers hostage. I hope they hold him hostage. Don't release him from this contract. Let's get his contract up. How long is he a Green Bay Packer? Because, the ultimate revenge here for this Packers team is just holding on to him till he has to retire. And so let's see what his contract is like. Is he done after this year? What's up? Let's see. Can we break this down? Or can we get this up quickly? Here we go. So he's signed till 2023, folks. Signed till 2023. Hold on to him till 2023. Hold on to him till 2023. 2 years have gone by, and then we'll see what Aaron Rodgers can do and what his fan base says. But I'm not letting him out of this contract. You just signed it. No. You signed this contract. You are here. You are here till 2023. This year, next year, and obviously you're not going to sign. So, but 2 years out of the league. Not playing. We'll see how good you are then. Can you get back to the NFC Championship game? Will the team that signs you give you everything that you want and more and suck you on the daily? Is that what you're looking for, Aaron? Because you're not getting here in Green Bay. We'll rock with Jordan Love. We've got no problem with that. We don't care. We don't even care if we lose every single game. We don't care. We're not going to be held hostage by you because for some reason you think you're above everybody else on this team for some reason, even though you've underperformed literally every single year, not able to get to those Super Bowls. If you just got to the Super Bowls, I would respect the heck out of that. You don't have to win like Tom Brady does in the Super Bowl. I know that's not kind of truly kind of realistic in the general term of the NFL. I know that Tom Brady is the outlier, but you need to at least get to those Super Bowls if you're going to kind of challenge him for the greatest of all time title. I'm not going to just give it, he got to the championship games. That's good. No. I'm not even saying you have to win the Super Bowls. Just get there. And Aaron Rodgers can't get there. He can't be clutch in those NFC championship games, so I'm not buying it. And we'll see what they do here. We'll see who blinks first. It's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, and I'm hoping it's not going to be the front office of the Packers. Aaron Rodgers not being here today proves he's not going to be there for the rest of the season. He's truly putting his foot down. So that's where we're at with Aaron Rodgers, folks. Unbelievable. The only player of the Packers not to show up, and because he's just so great. He's just so great, and they give him no talent, and they disrespect him, and they don't appreciate him, and they don't suck him every day, and they're drafting his replacement, and he doesn't like it. Blah 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 blah. You see what Tom Brady did when they didn't give him help? He won rings. You saw what Tom Brady did when they were talking about Jimmy G being kind of their replacement. He won rings. You saw what Tom Brady did when, it was finally time to kind of leave the organization because his contract was up and he was able to kind of leave on his own. He left on his own and won a ring. So what are we doing, Aaron? What are we doing? I'm over it. I'm sick of I don't understand why everybody coddles this man. Why are we coddling Aaron Rodgers? Please explain that to me. Jeez, the greatest quarterback of all time in your guys' eyes, and nobody can criticize him? And, like you have to make this man feel good 24/7? What are we doing? Stop this. I'm over Aaron Rodgers. Packers, hold him hostage now. He's holding y'all hostage. Hold him hostage right back. Don't let him out of his contract, and he will just fall into oblivion. We'll see what he can do 2 years removed from playing an NFL game, and then we can, drum up the discussions of Aaron Rodgers, poor Aaron Rodgers, blah, 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 2 years from now. But I'm over this man, and let's move on. Well, he's not going to show up to camp, folks. He's not going to show up. Didn't show up day one. Not going to show up. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here to some actual good teams that we can talk about, not just Aaron Rodgers 24/7. So here we go. We know that Calvin Ridley is now wide receiver 1 for this Falcons team. Can he keep it up? Can he be a 1? Well, of course he can, because we got the stats from every game last season that Calvin Ridley played as the 1 because Julio Jones was injured once again. Not the safest kind of, trade for the Titans because he's a little unreliable. Julio Jones a little unreliable because of the injuries. So Calvin Ridley had to step up last year, and man, oh man, did he do so. So week 3, no Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 1, 5 catches for 110 yards. Amazing. Week 5, no Julio Jones, 8 catches, 136 yards. Yes, sir. Week 12, no Julio Jones, 6 catches, 50 yards and a touchdown. Week 14, 8 catches, 124 yards and a touchdown. Week 15, 10 catches, 163 yards and a touchdown. Week 16, 5 catches, 130 yards. Week 17, 8 catches, 52 yards. So he can get it done. He's proven he can be the number 1 wide receiver on a team. We've got no problem with that. That's why we're not kind of too... That's why we're not kind of like selling this Falcons team just because they got rid of Julio Jones. Okay, we still got Kevin Ridley. They've got the pieces offensively. We're not worried about that. And now they freed up some cap space. We're looking for them to kind of sign Le'Veon Bell to get that kind of running game going, because if you have a dangerous running attack with Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts and Russell Gage and Hayden Hurst, you've got weapons on weapons on weapons. Everybody on this team is tall and fast. You're not going to be able to stop this Falcons team. Okay, they don't have Julio Jones. Well, they basically haven't had Julio Jones for like the last 2 seasons with all these injuries. So Calvin Ridley has proved it. Do not let anybody tell y'all otherwise that Calvin Ridley cannot be a number 1 in this league. He's proven it time and time again. And he's going to be proving it again this season. So we'll see what the Falcons can do here. We love Calvin Ridley. We've never not loved Calvin Ridley, and we're looking forward to him kind of, setting off on his own Julio Jones kind of looking like Julio Jones. We're expecting Calvin Ridley to kind of be his own Julio Jones when it's all said and done in his career, and he's already off to a hot start. So love it. Alrighty, here we go. A little bit more information here on the quarterback competition in Denver with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. We get a tweet here by Denver Broncos 365 on Twitter. Not verified or anything, but I'm gonna take his word for it. He's a Broncos account. I'm gonna take his word for it. So he says that Drew Lock had what was described a quote horrific day at practice. Not good, especially when we just kind of saw the film last week of Teddy Bridgewater throwing those excellent balls to Jerry Jeudy down the field and on the sideline, and then Drew Lock is having bad days. Man, not looking good out there for old Drew Lock, which we knew. We predicted that Teddy Bridgewater would win the starting job, and it seems like that is going to be the case, at least, for, early kind of sample size of what we've kind of already seen. So, Drew Lock had a horrific, that's not good, like a bad day. Oh, I had a bad day at practice. Oh my God, that was a horrific day. Gee, oh my God, how do you come back from that? You can't come back from horrific. You can come back from bad. Oh my God, just a bad day at practice. I'm not worried. Like, it sucks, but, it was just a bad day. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody doesn't have horrific days. When was the last time you had a horrific day? Jeez, man, not great. So we'll see what Drew Lock's looking like. But we get a quote here. Vic Fangio says it's too early to come to any conclusions on quarterback battle as Bridgewater Lock compete in 11-on-11s. So obviously, this article is kind of coming out the same time to that horrific day, and, it's just the start of mandatory minicamps. OTAs just kind of wrapped up, which is, the true initial kind of, practice to get everybody up to speed with everything, and then we'll have, competition as we enter these minicamps that are starting this week. So, Vic Fangio, the head coach for the Broncos, says it's a little too early here. Let's see if we get anything else in this article. So, according to reporters at practice, the competition included Lock throwing 2 interceptions in nearly a third while focusing on getting through his progressions and taking more checkdowns. So, that's not good. That's the horrific day, folks, that we just heard. 2 interceptions in nearly a third and then going to more and more checkdowns. Not the greatest there. Bridgewater, meanwhile, reportedly was accurate and appeared to already have a solid rapport with second-year wideout Jerry Jeudy. We saw that. We literally saw the tape on that, folks. So everything that we've kind of been seeing and hearing is kind of verified in this article right here, and we're going to get a quote on Vic Fangio. So let's keep going here. Multiple reporters suggested Lock was the second best quarterback at practice. Coach Vic Fangio said he wouldn't make any broad statements after one 11-on-11 drill when asked if Lock was second-guessing himself. Quote, from Vic Fangio, I think it's too early to come to any conclusions one way or the other, even a small conclusion. So, and that's kind of good. You're not going to kind of just, oh my God, you're not going to be, up and down, hot and cold every single day. If you're Vic Fangio, the quarterback position, you need to get it right. You're not just going to take one bad day, and you're not just going to take one good day. You're going to take the entirety of these kind of training camps and OTAs and all these practices of all the drills of all that you've seen. So, this is kind of, classic of a head coach. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to come to any conclusions, not even a slight one, not even a small one. That's what we're here for. But, Vic Fangio is not going to do that. I'll make the conclusion. Drew Lock is trash. There it is. I made the conclusion for Vic Fangio here. Drew Lock is not that great. He will not be the starter. Teddy Bridgewater is good, maybe even great, and he will be the starter. That's our conclusion. That's what Vic Fangio wants to say. He can't just say it because he is the head coach, unfortunately. But let's keep going here. Quote, quarterback coach Mike Shula and offensive coordinator Pat Schumer are working with him on that stuff. I'm not worried about it at this point. I mean, they've had Drew Lock. They know what Drew Lock can do. So, I mean, this isn't going to surprise them that he floundered in the 11-on-11 drills. He's been there for the last 2 years. They know what this man can do and what his kind of limitations are. So that's why bringing in Teddy Bridgewater is going to help maybe push Drew Lock. It hasn't seemed to be working as he's throwing 2 interceptions, but just kind of had that other option of Teddy Bridgewater. We don't know what he can do because we haven't really seen him. He was with the Panthers. We saw what he did on the field and we liked it, and that's why we brought him in. But let's see what he's doing in practice. Let's see what his limitations are. Compare both of these quarterbacks' limitations, and we'll see who's going to win the starting job, which we believe is going to be Teddy B. Alrighty. Anything else here in this article? Let's a couple more paragraphs. So let's keep going here. Locke was dealing with what Fangio referred to as, quote, little blister on one of his fingers. So maybe, that's affecting that accuracy, making those interceptions come. The coach noted that part of the team's evaluation of the position is how each player handles the process. Once again, taking it all in stride, taking it, what you see on the field, yes, the throwing, yes, the accuracy, yes, the timing, yes, all of that, but also how they're just dealing with the process, how they're handling the pressure, how they're just, going about their business on day-to-day activities through, these practices and all that. So, quote, absolutely, that's all a part of it. You don't want guys pressing two players you don't want as coaches. One that doesn't do anything the coaches tell him to do, and two, someone who only does what the coaches tell him to do. There's a fine line of moving on and seeing more than maybe you're schooled to see. You have to find that happy medium all the time. So, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of walking that fine line. Like he said here, we'll see which quarterback can do it the best. So far, it's looking like Teddy B. But, you've got time. You've got time, Drew Lock, to get a little bit better. You've had, 2 years in Denver to get better. You still haven't, but, you still got some time here. So, quarterback competition, it's seeming to kind of favor Teddy B. But, like I said, there's still plenty of time to go. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. And man, oh man, the 49ers. What is going on over there? Last year, all their injuries. I mean, geez, Louise. What do we got? I got him up here. Last year, Jimmy Garoppolo with the ankle, George Kittle with the foot, Deebo Samuel a hamstring, Raheem Mostert an ankle, Tevin Coleman a knee, Jeff Wilson a calf, Weston Richburg, a knee and a shoulder. Ben Garland, a calf. Jordan Reed, ankle and a knee. Jalen Hurd, a knee. Tavon Austin, a knee. And that's all just the offense. On the defense, you got Nick Bosa, who tore the ACL. Solomon Thomas, a knee injury. Dee Ford, a neck and a back injury. What else do we got? Richard Sherman, a calf. Jaquizy Tart, a groin. Ronald Blair, a knee. Julian Taylor, a knee. Ezekiel Ansah, his bicep. And Aziz Al-Shir, a hamstring. So all those injuries last season, and they're continuing on again this year. Just today, running back Jeff Wilson tore his meniscus. Safety Tavarius Moore tore his Achilles. And offensive tackle Justin School tore his ACL. Jeez Louise, what are we doing over there with the 49ers? Their training staff, their medical staff, y'all better fire everybody on that coaching staff that deals with medical and injuries, because it's just injury on injury, and that's why the 49ers unfortunately weren't good last year, because of all the injuries. That's why we can buy the 49ers this year, because they're all getting healthy from their injuries, but I guess not, because the injuries are still happening. So I don't know what's happening over there. And what do they play? Santa Clarita? Is that where they're at? Wherever they are in California, they better move. Y'all better change the water. Y'all better change your medical staff, your medical personnel, because it's just injuries on injuries on injuries. Jeez Louise. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Injuries, jeez. Alrighty, this video came out a couple of days ago, but we're going to talk about it. We get the new Manning is going to kind of start taking over, because Arch Manning out here is throwing dimes. Look at this one, 45 yards, 55 yards for the 10 yards in the back of the end zone. An absolute dime in the pump fake on this one. Whoo! This pump fake it's so quick, and it's great. I mean, the ball comes out of his hands a little bit. He kind of flips the ball a little bit as he's pump faking, selling it perfectly, and then goes and throws an absolute beautiful dime, 55 yards right in the breadbasket for his wide receiver. So watch out, folks. The Mannings are not even close to done. The football royalty, the Mannings, they've got more, folks. They got more seeds coming out that are definitely going to be turning heads in the NFL. So watch out for Arch Manning. He is going to be absolutely fantastic. obviously we have a couple more years. He's not in college yet, so a couple more years before he hits the NFL scene. And once he does, geez Louise, we don't know what Peyton did. We know what Arching did. We know what Peyton did. We know what Eli did. Cooper, unfortunate, not in the NFL. He's got soup with Coop. That's what he's doing. But Archie Manning out here gonna get it done. All right, let's head over to some basketball stories now. Luka Doncic on signing the looming $200 million contract extension. Jeez Louise, truly deserved. But man, oh man, that amount of money, $200 million that this man's going to get this summer. He's going to be offered it. We know he's going to accept it. We get the quote here. I think you know the answer. Of course, he's going to stay in Dallas. He's not going to leave. He's probably going to be a Maverick for life. And, starting out early with $200 million. Oh my God. Could you imagine waking up with $200 million in the bank just overnight? Man, oh man. So the man is going to get signed. Watch out for that this summer. But how does he repay us? How does he repay us, the United States, the fans, these Americans? He's going to go and play for the Slovenian team, the Slovenian national team in the Olympics, taking our money, taking our American money, and then going overseas to compete against us? Truly forsaking us out here? Disrespect! With our American money. I'm going to go and spend it in Slovenia at the Olympics. Jeez. Way to say thank you. So that's where we're at with Luka Doncic. Yeah, he's eliminated from the playoffs, but he's winning, folks. He's winning. $200 million. Jeez. All right, another basketball story up here, and I kind of like this one, folks. There's a report that the Boston Celtics are a, quote, team to watch in trade talks for Damian Lillard if he becomes available via trade, and I think that's exactly where I want him, honestly. Damian Lillard running the point with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that's all they were missing, folks. They just need that point guard. Kemba's not the future of the Celtics. Kemba's not a winner, folks. He does not know what it takes to win consistently. He's getting his ass beat on the floor every single night, and it's all smiles of him. It's all smiles from him. He doesn't have that kind of, competitive edge. He doesn't know what consistent winning is in the league. He's never been a winner. He started out with the Charlotte Bobcats, folks. I mean, it's not going to get it done. So he was here with the Celtics. We tried to buy into him. We wanted to see him kind of succeed there in Boston. We want to see Jason Tatum, be great and kind of, be, the next big superstar in this league. Not as big as LeBron or Kobe, but, these kind of, other generational talents that are really kind of starting to take over the league by storm. Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. I mean, we're getting these great young players that are truly stepping in and showing us what they can do, and it's fantastic. So Damian Lillard, I believe his time is up in Portland, just because we've seen the same thing happen for like the last 3 years. Yeah, really great, just not able to kind of get to the finals, not able to compete for that ring. So they ended up getting to, the Western Conference Finals and then losing. I mean, that's kind of the cap that they're at. So we have to see Damian Lillard move on. He's too good for Portland, unfortunately. We just saw that this playoffs. We saw it we see it every year, but definitely kind of saw it this year, going into double overtime with that Nuggets team and just hitting clutch three after clutch three after clutch three, 12 of 17, down 10 with like a minute and 40 left and still forcing overtime because he's that gosh darn good. So if he goes to the Celtics, I think that's the perfect spot. Just need a solid coach there in Boston. Get a solid big. Doesn't even have to be a superstar big. They already have their three superstars to win the ring. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I believe in all three of those players. Great. Jaylen Brown, I believe in. Jason Tatum, I've been believing in. And, we know what Damian Lillard does, folks. So let's, obviously we have a lot of time to see what's going to happen here in the NBA. Regular seasons, the season's not even over yet, so obviously nothing's going to come in the next couple of weeks here, but let's see if we start, hearing more kind of talks of Damian Lillard leaving Portland. All right, next up. Another report here, and I guess, here we go. The Knicks and Kelly Oubre reportedly have, quote, mutual interest. Well, we obviously know he's not going to be a Warrior next year. They didn't win with him, and they kind of sat him on the bench even though he was healthy at the end of the season. So we know he's not going to be there next year. And, the Knicks are having mutual interest in him, some little interest in Kelly Oubre. But, truly underwhelming what he did this year. And the Knicks are missing outside shooters. And can Kelly Oubre do that? Yeah, a little. I mean, his best season was probably the 2019-2020 season with the Suns right before, he went to the Warriors, putting up 18 points and 6 rebounds a game on 35% from the three. That's basically his best year, 35% from the three, which is solid. I'll give him. It's all right. It's solid. It's above average a little bit. It's not great. It's not 40% like we kind of see, Durant doing and, Curry doing and all that. But, 35% is pretty solid, and the Knicks need those outside shooters consistently. So, will he work? Maybe a little bit, but at the end of the day, his best season is 18-6. It's all right. It's good. It's not a 1. It's a light 2. It's a good 3. I'll give you that. But, we'll see. And also, is Julius Randle still going to be good? So, probably not. So, we'll see how the Knicks are looking if they go out and get Kelly Oubre Jr. We know he's not going to be a Warrior. Probably will go to the Knicks. I don't know if there's that many teams wanting Kelly Oubre. Seeing him flounder with a superstar like Steph Curry, really leaving a bad taste in our mouth on what Kelly Oubre can do in this league. So, we'll see where he goes, but him and the Knicks seeming to have mutual interest. And then this one, another player report here. So the Washington Wizards are going to continue to monitor Kristaps Porzingis. So we heard he's unhappy in Dallas, doesn't want to be there anymore. He has this big contract. They've got a big contract with Kristaps Porzingis. It was like an over $100 million contract that they signed him to. And he's just never really been panning out. So that's definitely going to be something big to kind of, take into account when we're kind of talking about what teams are going to go out and get Kristaps Porzingis, because they are going to have to take on that big beefy contract. So now the Washington Wizards, can they use Kristaps Porzingis? Yeah, it's a solid option, especially, if Russell Westbrook stays. Bradley Beal's kind of up in the air whether he's staying or leaving. But, in that kind of Washington system where, Porzingis gonna play the 4 there, he does not want to play the 5. But just having that kind of nice big 4 out there for this Wizards team, for Russell Westbrook to kind of be explosive, kick it out to Porzingis. Porzingis is definitely going to have to work on his shooting a little bit more if he wants to kind of fit into this Wizards team. But then still, if they get Kristaps Porzingis, they are still going to need a 5. You're still going to need that big down low. Kristaps does not want to do that. They have Daniel Gafford, but, he's all right. He's not tier 1, tier 2, maybe tier 3 big in this league, but they would still have to go out and get that missing piece. How much can you pay when you have to pay Kristaps Porzingis and Russell Westbrook and maybe Bradley Beal? Maybe not enough money to have a nice solid 5 down there. So I don't know overall where Kristaps Porzingis can play. He's not that great of a scorer, and he wants to kind of be an outside shooting big, and that's just not his game. So that's what his game should be, a nice scoring big. Get down low. You are 7'3". You get down low. Do you understand me? You are not Kevin Durant. You do not have that good 3-point shooting stroke. You don't got it. So I don't know, man. I would not take on Kristaps Porzingis. I would not have him on my team, and I definitely would not be taking on that mammoth contract. But we'll see what the Washington Wizards do. They need some size on that team, and Kristaps Porzingis, he's got the size. I'll give him that. Maybe can work with Russell Westbrook, but you better get your ass down low. Alrighty, and then the last story to talk about here. Geez Louise, what the hell are we talking about here? So from Brian Wittenhorst on Twitter, says that when Steve Nash, there's an article, we're gonna read it and see what's up with it, but the tweet: when Steve Nash was hired by the Nets, it was considered surprising, risky, and controversial. Yeah, absolutely. Steve Nash, no head coaching experience, was a good player, don't get us wrong, but just because you're a good player doesn't mean that you're a good coach. Just because you're good at one position and know kind of, how an offense is ran doesn't mean that you can run an offense from the head coach and, getting the players in and executing well. And so it doesn't translate all the time. It rarely does. What's a good kind of, head coach that was a former player? Steve Kerr, he's real good. Jason Kidd, really not the best. So, but But so far in his first playoffs, he's out coaching Mike Budenholzer in a huge series with the Bucks. So yeah, I guess he's out coaching Mike Budenholzer from the Bucks. But overall, I mean, I'm not saying that Steve Nash is a good coach or anything. I mean, you've just got great players. That's it. You've got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then Joe Harris and James Harden, obviously, and then Blake Griffin's been stepping up fantastic, and then Mike James has been panning out absolutely fantastic. They've got Bruce Brown, who's panning out absolutely fantastic. Nicholas Claxton, who was there, is stepping up in year number 2. So they've just got great depth and great players, great superstars. You don't need to coach this team. It's like, when LeBron was on that Cavs team. No, they didn't need the head coach. He is the head coach. He gets it done. So, Ty Lue is now with the Clippers, going 7 games with the Mavericks. Like, what are we doing on that? So, I'm not buying in that Steve Nash is some great coach and he deserves all the praise and the credit for this Nets team's early success. But let's see what this article is all about here. Let's see what Brian Windhorst is truly saying. Anything good? This seems long as heck. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. When Steve Nash was hired by the Brooklyn Nets super team entry last year, it was both shocking and controversial. Judgment on the hire is still a ways off, but Nash's first postseason on the sideline has been impressive. Has it? Has it? You've just got players. Stop telling me that Steve Nash is so impressive here. What are we doing? He's got they're a small ball lineup with Mike D'Antoni. That didn't work with the Rockets because they didn't have the superstar talent. You can put Blake Griffin at the 5 when you've got great talent all around him. So I'm not saying that's great coaching at all. Nash has run circles early around 2-time NBA Coach of the Year Mike Budenholzer in what was supposed to be a highly competitive Eastern Conference playoff series. You're saying that Nash has run circles over Mike Budenholzer because Mike Budenholzer doesn't have the depth that the Nets have? What? It's not Mike Budenholzer. It's Giannis. It's Giannis that is absolutely abysmal in this Milwaukee series here for the Nets. It's not Mike Budenholzer. He's trying his damnedest with this kind of, Giannis is the tier 1. Everybody else is tier 2 at best on this team, where the Nets, you have KD and Kyrie Irving, all tier 1. Joe Harris, I'm putting him in tier 1 as well. The man is consistent. We brag about that all the time on the show. But to say that Nash is running circles early around Mike Budenholzer for coaching? What? Stop it. Give Steve Nash the team. Let's swap head coaches and see really who can coach, because if Steve Nash was on that Bucks team, they are worse. They are 100% worse than what they are right now. So stop this. We can't even finish this article. What are we talking about, folks? Steve Nash is not a good coach. He's got talent on 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 talent. Man, we're going to break down that game in a second. Folks, we're going to tell you how deep this team was. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting how deep this team is. Let's save, I can see, I can maybe give credit to Steve Nash if he gets to the finals with the Jazz, because the Jazz are kind of deep, not as deep as the Nets, but they are probably the second deepest team in this league. The Jazz are. So I'll give credit to Steve Nash if he makes it to the finals with the Jazz and then he wins against the Jazz. I will give him credit then. A small credit. He can't earn big credit with this team coaching. But I'll give him small credit. But I'm not giving him credit because he's winning the first 2 games at home against the Bucks. Stop it. So. What else do we get here? Anything good in this, or anything making sense in this article? The first 2 contests were at home, and once again, at home. Come on, you're gonna say that Steve Nash is a great coach because he's winning games at home with an absolute star-studded roster? What are we doing? The first 2 contests were at home, and Nash has talent on his side. Kevin Durant's 32 points. But Nash is managing and motivating his team expertly. Oh my God, here we go. Once again with the motivation. Jeez Louise. Everybody loves motivation. Tim Tebow's so motivating. That's why we have to bring him on this team. Oh my God, Steve Nash is such a great coach. He motivates that team. Oh my God, can you see how well he motivates that team? He motivates those superstars that get ridiculed in the press over and over and over again. Oh yeah, that plays nothing. It's all Steve Nash motivation. Stop. What are we doing, folks? Oh my gosh. But Nash is managing and motivating his team expertly, especially in the wake of losing James Harden. Oh my God, he lost one of his 3 superstars. Oh my God, how crazy. He's able to manage it. He's able to manage James Harden being out and Joe Harris. Now Joe Harris. Oh my God, how do you manage all this superstar talent? Jeez, stop it. Spare us. Even when he had Harden in the mix, Nash explained how important shot numbers were against the Bucks. Okay, so he told his team to shoot up shots. Do you see who's on the team? Yeah, I tell them to take outside shots as well. Kyrie Irving, I keep wanting to say James Harden, but I'm not going to bring him in these arguments because he's not playing. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris, Bruce Brown, Blake Griffin's hitting the threes now. Mike James is hitting the threes. It's wild, folks. Landry Shamit's hitting the outside shots. So because Steve Nash is telling great shooters to shoot the ball on the outside, he's motivating the team. That's why this man is running circles. You heard it, folks. That's his words. Nash has run circles. He's run circles around Mike Budenholzer coaching because of his motivation and telling the players to shoot the ball. Okay. If this is what the professionals are saying, Brian Windhorst, kind of respected there at ESPN. He's been there forever. Basically just kind of the LeBron slurper and the LeBron coverer, but now he's slurping Steve Nash on another superstar, all-star, studded cast of a team. Anything else here? 2 games in, it's the Nets who have taken 7 more shots and committed 14 fewer turnovers. So, Steve Nash is so great for telling those players to take up shots that they've only taken 7 more shots in the first 2 games. What? 7 shots? Oh, Mike Budenholzer is telling his team to put up shots. They're taking 33s a game. First game they took 33s. How many did they take last game? 27 threes. So Mike Budenholzer is telling this team to put up shots. So what are we getting at? Because they've put up 7 more shots? You just praise Steve Nash for telling the team to take shots and it's only 7 more overall? What are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Sensationalizing Steve Nash. I will never get behind that. Stop it. I cannot believe this man just said Steve Nash is a great coach because of his motivation. He's motivating these all-star generational talents and telling them to shoot the ball. Okay. All right. If that's what y'all want to listen to and read to. Okay. All right. I'll let y'all do that. Steve Nash is not a good coach. That's what I'm going to say. All right. So those were the stories that we needed to cover for today. Let's head over to the NBA, break down the games from last night, preview what we got on deck for tonight, and get our moneymaker rocking and roaring. So here we go. First game up, and it's the good one, folks. The Bucks and the Nets, and man, oh man, what an absolute blowout. Nets winning 125-86, a 40-point win, basically. Jeez Louise. How unfortunate. This Bucks team, man, just non-competitive. Giannis not going down low. They can't hit the outside shots, and they're just looking overall bad. Bad compared to this, hot Nets team. So we're not going to go too out of proportion. We're not going to blow this too much out of proportion just quite yet. We are going to give the Bucks game 3 to see what they can do at home for this series. Maybe come back, 2-1, tied up at 2-2, going back to Brooklyn, figuring out what they've learned, trying to be more competitive on the road to game 5. But we are going to give the Bucks team the benefit of the doubt. We have them winning kind of the championship. That was our prediction. So far, not looking too hot, but like we said, we're not going to kind of, blow up our prediction just quite yet. We are going to see what happens in Game 3. But here we go. Let's start talking about this game. I mean, the Nets, man, came out firing. I mean, this was non-competitive from the get-go, folks. Truly non-competitive. The Nets outscoring the Bucks 36-19 in the first quarter. It was game over from that point on. And, the Bucks only putting up 86 points. Absolutely abysmal. No great outside shooting, and just everything not going their way. PJ Tucker back in the starting lineup. That can't happen. You cannot I know he was only a -9 on the floor, which overall in comparison to their starters, Drew Holiday -27, Chris Middleton -30, Brook Lopez -15, Giannis -22 on the floor, and PJ Tucker only a -9, and that's still good, but he cannot be in the starting lineup. You need offensive production against this Nets team, and PJ Tucker is the definition of not offensive production. He is strictly defense, and you cannot just be strictly defense. You need to be at least 50-50 offense defense, but even that's Danny Green, and he's not looking too hot for this 76ers team, even though he does have 3 rings. I hate it. I hate that man's got 3 rings, but he does. But PJ Tucker, you cannot put him back in the starting lineup. The starting lineup has to be Drew Holiday at the 1, Bryn Forbes at the 2, Chris Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Brook Lopez at the 5. That is the only lineup that you can have. It's unfortunate, but that's how you have to beat this Nets team. You have to outscore them. You cannot lock up defensively. It does not work. They've got great players to draw the whistle. They got great players to, okay, you played great defense on me 1 possession. Okay, we're back here in another 20 seconds, and I'm going to drain the 3 in your face. It doesn't matter if you have good defense. You need to match his great scoring offense of the Nets with great scoring offense. And the Bucks don't have nowhere near the depth of this Nets team. So you can't keep PJ Tucker in the starting lineup. You can't. And, maybe Brian Windhorst is right a little bit saying that if Mike Budenholzer keeps PJ Tucker in the starting lineup, then maybe you can say that Steve Nash is maybe attempting to start thinking about potentially putting on the shoes to start running circles around Mike Budenholzer. Maybe. But we'll see what he does in game 3. But yeah, you can't keep PJ Tucker in the starting lineup. It's not working. Giannis is playing absolutely trash as well. 18 points, 11 rebounds, only playing 30 minutes. Once again, I mean, this was a blowout. Really just resting all their starters anyway at the end of the third quarters, because the game was, a 30-point lead going into the fourth quarter. So you're not going to risk your stars. You're not coming back from 30 deep. So Giannis, he just not going down low. I mean, 3 threes again. What are we doing? Stop that. 2 of 7 from the free throw line again. Come on, Giannis. I cannot believe, I tweeted out yesterday that he is the sorriest back-to-back MVP there is in NBA history, folks. I mean, what is this man doing in the playoffs? He looks timid out there. He looks like he doesn't want to attack the rim. He looks afraid to be put on the free throw line, and he's got, reason to do so. 28% from the free throw line, absolutely trash. So only shooting 53% on 15 shots as well, so not getting it done down low, not able to kind of make his presence known down low. And Giannis, man, you better get it going for game number 3. We have to see those great 40-point performances that we just saw at the end of the regular season against the Nets. You were at home for that. That's what we have to see you do in game number 3. But Giannis is looking sorry as heck out there. Brook Lopez trying his damnedest out there, 10 points, 6 rebounds. He's shooting 2 of 3 from the 3. That's what we like to see. Brook Lopez, I've got no problem with him taking those threes. He can stretch the floor as a decent shooting big, but Giannis, no, stop that. Chris Middleton is once again floundering at the 2, taking 20 shots, shooting 35%, absolutely trash as well. He put up 17 points, 3 of 8 from the 3. Not the greatest, and we definitely need Chris Middleton to put up, 25 to 30 points. He has to kind of, be more efficient shooting the ball. That's why he plays the 3, because he's not that efficient shooting the ball. That's why, when he goes over to the 2, he has to kind of take up those shots, 20 shots in game number 2 here. But, Chris Middleton, man, got to go back to the 3 and has to be way more consistent, way more efficient out here. And then Drew Holiday, 13 points on 60% shooting, but once again, it's just 13 points. That's not going to get it done. We need Giannis to go for like 30. We need Chris Middleton to 25 plus. We need Drew Holiday at 20 plus. We need Brook Lopez at kind of 12 to 15-ish, and none of these players are doing anywhere close to what we need to see for them to be competitive. That's not even a win. That's just to be competitive against this Nets team. So, absolutely trash once again here by the Bucks. Man, Bryn Forbes off the bench, 10 points on 66% shooting, 4 of 6 from the field. That's what we're talking about. 2 of 4 from the 3. That's what we're talking about. That's what you need in the starting lineup. Bryn Forbes must be in the starting lineup come game 3. Bobby Portis off the bench, 2 points on 5 shots. Pat Connaughton took 1 shot and missed it. Thanasis played 9 minutes, and everybody else kind of on the bench playing solid minutes because it was an absolute blowout, resting the starters, but still no great production anywhere. The bench put up, how many points they put up? 6, 12, 10, 22, 28. 26 points. They put up 26 points. So, alrighty, the Bucks, man, they got to do something. They got to get the firepower on deck. You must be just taking the shots, or just try to slow down the game. But Giannis doesn't want to go down low, so you can't really, slow down the game, bleed the shot clock, and then, drive the lane because it's getting clogged down there. So. Alrighty, this Nets team now just, oh my God, deep as deep can be, folks. So here we go. Kyrie Irving, 22 points, 6 assists. Bruce Brown, 13 points on 60% shooting. Blake Griffin, 7 points, 8 rebounds. He only took 2 threes this game. That's what I love, man. I got to give so much respect and credit to Blake Griffin, how he's handling the series. He's truly getting it done. His 3 points were kind of on the mark in game number 1, so you would think his head would be big going into game number 2, but he only took 2 threes. Settled down. I loved it. Credit to Blake Griffin. Joe Harris, 13 points. Kevin Durant, 32 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the 3, 66% on 18 shots. You love to see it. And then we get Landry Shamet off the bench, 9 points on 60% shooting. Nicholas Claxton, 4 points on 3 shots. Mike James, 10 points, 2 of 4 from the 3. We got Tyler Johnson putting up 2 points. We got Timothy Luawe Cabaret, 3 points. Reggie Perry making his presence known in only 7 short minutes, putting up 8 points, but everybody's able to stretch the floor shooting the 3. They put up 21 points or 21 threes. They made 21 threes as a team. Jeez Louise. They made 21 threes as a team, folks. They shot 50% from the 3-point arc, folks. Amazing. Where the Bucks, 8 of 27 from 3, 29% overall. Absolutely trash. But everybody on this team can shoot the ball from deep, and that's what is the total mismatch here against this Bucks team in the series. I mean, just everybody able to shoot the clip, man, at a high, accurate pace, and you love to see it. So, well, it's frustrating to see because of, the superstar talent, but, hey, it's great out there. So, the Nets just in control from start to finish in this game. The outside shooting was on point from start to finish, and that's why this Bucks team has been really not competitive so far in the series. So we'll see what happens in game 3. We're still going to be betting the Nets in game number 3. We're rooting for the Bucks. We're betting the Nets. The Bucks have just not shown us anything in the series to really sink our teeth into or really just kind of buy. They're showing us nothing that we can buy into them. It's going to be interesting to see what the spread is. We may actually get some points with this Nets team here. Like we said at the top of the show, the Bucks, I think, ended at -1 overall. Let me look that up very quickly. See what the closing odds were. Here we go. Close the odds at Bucks -1. How stupid. And, they lost by 40. So, I hope your -1 was doing something good there. But, yeah, we root for the Bucks, folks. That was our champion pick. We were walking through the playoff bracket, but I'm not taking. When I saw the pick 'em, I mean, that's great value there for the Nets, so we had to go and take that. So Nets blow out the Bucks. Not great. But that wasn't the only game on last night. We had the Suns and the Nuggets, game one, in a pretty good game. Very close in the first half, and the Suns really just started to kind of get that big lead mid-third quarter, and then really just kind of ran home in the fourth quarter. But the Suns end up winning 122-105. Once again, just that depth that this Suns team has, just maybe a little bit too much for this Nuggets team to overcome. So let's start with the Suns from last night. Chris Paul looking like vintage Chris Paul out there, not looking injured at all. 21 points, 11 assists, 2 of 3 from the three. You love to freaking see it. Devin Booker, a little bit of a light night, 21 points, 8 assists. He shot only 1 of 4 from the three, but 66% from the field on 12 shots. So efficient Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Yes, sir. He shot 69% on 13 shots, just going at Jokic, and kind of, like we said, Jokic, we heard his own words saying that, DeAndre Ayton was kind of, the best big that he's been against, the one that gave him the most trouble, and we kind of saw that last night. Jokic wasn't able to kind of reach his full kind of potential, and DeAndre Ayton putting up 20 and 10. You freaking love to see it. Jay Crowder, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 9 from the three. We'll take that. And then McCall Bridges, once again, 23 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 8 from the three, folks. This Suns starting team, just everybody getting it done. 21 points, 20 points, 14 points, 23 points. I mean, how great is that? Everybody putting up 20 or more points in that starting lineup besides Jay Crowder, and then he gave you a great 14 as well. So, man, oh man, the Suns team shooting absolutely great. And then the bench getting it done kind of too. Cameron Payne, 7 points, 3 assists. We get Dario Saric putting up 5 points in only 9 minutes. Torrey Craig, 9 points, 8 rebounds. Love me some Torrey Craig, absolutely. So, I mean, when the starters are all shooting like that, and then you just get these kind of small, great productions by everybody on your bench, that's what we're talking about. So, the Suns are absolutely getting it done here. And, yeah, man, this is going to be a great series. The Nuggets were kind of able to hang around a little bit in the first half, kind of, lost it in the third quarter a little bit. But yeah, that scoreability that this Suns team has is just unfortunate that the Nuggets don't quite have it as well. So let's talk about this Nuggets team now, still rocking with Facundo Campazzo in the starting lineup, and we've got no problem with that. We love what this man can do and had a great kind of first half, really kind of floundered in the second half, and that's unfortunate. So Facundo Campazzo, 14 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 of 6 from the three. We can get behind that. Austin Rivers, a little light there offensively, 7 points. He had 4 assists and 3 rebounds. Only took 7 shots, 1 of 4 from the three. Not the greatest, but he was a 0 on the floor, +0, -0. So not bad out there. Jokic, 22 points. He had 3 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 9 rebounds, but only 2 of 5 from the three, and he was still a -13 on the floor, even with that great defense. So, once again, DeAndre Ayton kind of getting to him a little bit out there. Aaron Gordon, 18 points. He had 3 steals and 4 rebounds. Unfortunately, 0 of 3 from the three, but he was a +2 on the floor. Once again, Aaron Gordon, that good defensive piece, and his numbers were kind of solid. I mean, 18 points. We'll take that from Aaron Gordon, honestly. At the 4, Jokic and Michael Porter kind of being their main scorers, so Aaron Gordon giving us 18. That's real solid from him last night. And then Michael Porter Jr. to round out the starters here for the Nuggets, 15 points and 7 rebounds, 3 of 8 from the three. Not bad overall, but we need Michael Porter Jr. to really kind of be the 25 to 30 a night scorer that we need for this Nuggets team to be competitive against the Suns team. So Michael Porter Jr. has got to step up the offensive load a little bit. We've kind of seen this of Michael Porter Jr. Like some flounder games, they're very few and far in between, folks. And this is kind of, we're hoping, the only bad game we kind of get from him in this series. It's not even a bad game. It's just, kind of a lackluster of what he can do. 15 points is a little light for that man. So everybody kind of clamped up offensively here for this Nuggets team. Nobody truly getting it done. And then off the bench, I mean, Monte Morris, 2 points on 10% shooting on 10 shots. Jeez Louise, that's not great at all. JaMychal Green had a pretty decent night off the bench, 10 points and 11 rebounds. So that's kind of something, a green flag moving forward in this series. We get Paul Millsap off the bench, 9 points on 66% shooting. Once again, decent by him, only playing 12 minutes. But we need the starters. We need Jokic to put up the 30. We need Michael Porter Jr. to put up the 25. We cannot have Monte Morris shooting 10% on 10 shots. So this Nuggets team can still get it done. This is not kind of like the Bucks and the Nets where it's looking kind of like a 99% chance that the Nets are going to win that series. This Nuggets team can still be competitive. I mean, this was a competitive game in the first half, folks. So we'll see how the Nuggets rebound. We just need that scoring pace to kind of match what the Suns can do. Alrighty, so that was the NBA from last night. We've got playoff basketball back on tonight. We get the Hawks and the 76ers, Game 2, 7:30 on TNT. Can Trae Young and company keep up the scoring pace? We think we can. And is Joel Embiid going to play? We kind of, the last I saw, which was kind of yesterday, was that he was kind of questionable. So we'll see if that status got kind of, upgraded or degraded. But we still like the Hawks, and if we're getting points again, we may take those points. I think we will take those points if we're getting points. And then the Clippers Jazz Game 1, and this is not going to be competitive, folks. What gave the Clippers trouble against that Mavericks team in that series? The outside shooting and that scoreability, and that's what the Jazz have. This is going to be like the Nets in the Bucks series, folks, where the Jazz are just scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring, and the Clippers do not have those pieces to keep up with that great scoring pace. So we'll see what the spread is. We may be able to get some great value here with the Jazz just because it is Game 1, and we know we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the onslaught that is to come here that against the Jazz and the Clippers tonight. The Jazz will destroy the Clippers. The Jazz will destroy the Clippers, and we'll see if the line reflects that. So let's get these lines up. Let's get these lines up to date. Let's see who's in and out, and let's get our moneymaker ready to rock. Alrighty, so here we go. Oh my God, great value already, folks. Hawks 76ers, Hawks +6. Hawks +6. What? They were +5 in Game 1. Now they're +6. Absolutely, we are going to be taking that. I don't care who's in and out. I'm sure Joel Embiid is playing. For the Hawks, Chris Dunn is still out and Cam Reddish is out. And then for the 76ers, Joel Embiid is a game-time decision. But let's go to NBA Fantasy Labs. Let's see if we got another kind of clear update on Joel Embiid. Nothing new. The last thing is questionable from 19 hours ago. So I'm sure he does play, and I'm sure he looks fine out there like he did in Game 1. But at the end of the day, this Hawks team, they have that scoreability. We need Danny Green to start putting up some points, or you got to move him out of the starting lineup. That's what the 76ers downfall is going to be. Ben Simmons not able to kind of, stretch the floor because he can't shoot, and then Danny Green just not shooting. Shoot the ball, Danny. Shoot the ball. You're there to stretch the floor with the 3 and play good defense. Once again, you cannot just be a defender out there on the floor, especially in the starting lineup. You need to have some offense to your game, and Danny Green not taking those shots, you can clamp up down low more just because he's not taking those shots. He barely shot the ball in Game 1, so I'm going to rely on this Hawks team. The offense has been great. When has the offense not been good, folks? This entire, just not this series because it's only one game, go back to that Nets series. When was the offense not good for the 76ers or not good for the Hawks? It was always great. So, of course, we're still going to take these points here. I think the Hawks win the game outright, but we're going to take the 6 points here. The Hawks shooting is great. They can clog the paint down low with kind of Clint Capella, make Joel Embiid work for it, and we know he's kind of already injured. We think he's, solid out there. I mean, we saw what he did in game number 1, looking great. But still making him work for all that production over, the course of the series. It's going to start wearing Joel Embiid down a little bit. Let's see if that injury starts to nag him a little bit more. That's why he's kind of questionable tonight. So this Hawks team, we're taking the 6. That's absolutely blasphemous that the spread is this high. The Hawks can go on runs. The 76ers can, but they don't do it like the Hawks do. You have to rely on Seth Curry. He's solid overall, but he is kind of streaky on how consistent he can be. Tobias Harris is always consistent, but scoreability, we've got only kind of 2 consistent players out here, Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, where the Hawks, we got John Collins, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Clint Capella, always consistent. I can always rely on 10 to 15, honestly 15 plus points by all four of those players, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I'm taking the Hawks plus 6 absolutely all day. That's great value, immense value. I bet the house on it. Bet the house. We're back at it, baby. Bet the house on Hawks plus 6, folks. We haven't had a bet the house bet in forever. This is the bet the house bet. Bet your house. Bet all of your cars, not just one car to kind of hedge your bet. No. Bet both of your cars in your driveway. If you got more than 2, fantastic. Pawn them all. Go sell them right now. Try to get it done. You've got till 7:40, folks. Hawks plus 6. Bet your house, your future, your kids' future, your kids' future. Bet everybody in your family's future. You steal their money without them knowing, and then you hit, and then you sneak the money back in with some extra money on top, and they're like, what? Where did I get this extra $50,000 from? I didn't. My account was 4 cents. Why do I have $50,000 and 4 cents in my account? Well, I took that. I took your money. I took your assets, and I did a little bet. Over there, and I hit because it was a guaranteed bet. And that's why I couldn't tell you, because if I told you, it'd be like you're betting all the money. Well, that doesn't make sense. But I listened to Takes by Fans. This was the bet the house bet. This was the bet the future bet. This was the bet. It's a surefire bet, folks. It's not betting when you don't lose, when you can't lose. There it is. Hawks plus 6. Alrighty. Clippers and Jazz. Clippers plus 4, Jazz minus 4. And okay, I'm loving the Jazz here, folks. They've got the scoreability. They have the depth that the Clippers do not have. The only players that score on this Clippers team are Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Reggie Jackson. That's it. Don't give me Morris. That man is streaky as heck. Yes, he did come through in Game 7. I'll give him that. But that's it. And this is not Game 7, so don't expect him to show up. In this series, won't even get to a Game 7, so he still won't even have that ability to. But the ins and out here, Serge Ibaka is a game-time decision. That's definitely going to help him out a little bit. To stretch the floor. And then Mike Conley's a game-time decision with the hamstring. Interesting there. But either way, it doesn't matter. They've got 2 Six-Man of the Year candidates on their team. One won it. Joe Ingles and Jordan Clarkson. So they've just got that depth. This Jazz Clippers series will be like the Nets and the Bucks, folks. You think the Bucks can be competitive. You think the Clippers can be competitive. But the depth and the scoreability of the Nets, the depth of the scoreability of the Jazz is what makes this kind of series almost unwatchable, because it's almost a sure thing. So Jazz minus 4. We're going to swallow the 4 here. They've got the shooters all over the place. And then Rudy Gobert. I mean, who's going to clamp up Rudy Gobert down low? Please tell me that. It's not Zubac. And I like Serge Ibaka, but it's not him either. So this Clippers team is they've got no good big. They've got no good big. And Rudy Gobert is going to be just eating down low. The pick and roll with him and Donovan Mitchell, it's going to be unstoppable. Ty Lue, you better hope that you can start coaching, and Kawhi Leonard, you better hope that you're putting up 45 points every game, because you're definitely going to need it. Playoff P is coming back full force in round 2. He was a little kind of iffy in series 1 against the Mavericks, but official playoff P is going to be out there tonight. Jazz minus 4, great value. So that's going to be our moneymaker for tonight. Hawks plus 6, Jazz minus 4. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us. Let's see if anything has been breaking as we were live. Anything we've got? What do we got? Nothing? Looking like nothing out here. No big news. No big old breaking news. What do we got? Anything out here? Not looking like it. We see Jair Alexander out with the Packers in their training camp. Jordan Love out here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go get it done, Jordan Love. Go prove Aaron Rodgers, hey, shut up, bro. I'll take your spot. I don't care. Goodbye. Don't show up. We don't care. We're moving on. Goodbye. Alrighty. Anything else? Nothing. Alrighty. So we'll be back tomorrow, folks. Live, noon Eastern, doing it all over again. And do not expect Aaron Rodgers to be at the mandatory minicamps tomorrow. So, alrighty, folks, we're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we're back tomorrow.